सर्वेभ्यो नमस्काराः। अद्य सिद्धान्तकौमुद्याः अजन्त पुल्लिङ्गप्रकरणे 20 भागः। मार्च मासस्य 4th दिनाङ्कः. This was made for the previous class. So, येनाक्षरसमां नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयं नमस्कृत्य तदुक्तिः परिभाव्य च वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकौमुदीयं विरच्यते. Okay, sorry about last class. The BSNL internet was down in our locality due to some repair work, so I couldn't log in, and I discovered that only some half an hour before the class, so I couldn't inform earlier also. Continuing from the previous class, pati shabdah adhitah patis samasa eva iti sutrena ghisamnyayaah niyamah kriyate. Arthat शेषोघ्यसखी इत्यनेन घिसंज्ञाया विहिता सा पतिशब्दस्य समासे एव भवति. यदा पतिशब्दः समासस्य अवयवः तदैव तस्य घिसंज्ञा भवति. केवलस्य पतिशब्दस्य घिसंज्ञा नास्ति इति नियमार्थम् इदं सूत्रम् इति उक्तम्. अत्र कश्चन प्रश्नः पृष्टः आसीत्. एवकारः अपेक्षितः वा? Do we really require that eva? What would happen if we had just said patis samase? Right. केवलं patis samase इत्युक्ते किं भवति? तदा ईदृशः नियमः सिद्ध्यति वा इति चेत् सिद्ध्यति. यतोहि पूर्वसूत्रेण किमुच्यते? शेषोघ्यसखि अनदीसंज्ञौ ह्रस्वौ विवर्णौ वर्णौ तदन्तं सखिवर्जं घिसंज्ञं स्यात् इति सूत्रार्थः. So any word which is ending in hrasva ikara or hrasva ukara, which does not have nadi samya and which is not sakhi, will get ghisamya by that sutra. Even pati shabda comes under the purview of that sutra, right? Because it is ikaranta, hrasva ikarantah, nadi samya nasti asya, sakhi shabdopi nasti. Ityatah pati shabdasyapi purva sutrenaiva ghisamya siddhyati. Right? So from the previous sutra, whether it is kevala pati shabda or in a samasa, it will get ghisamya. So why do a new sutra to say patis samase when we are already getting ghisamya from the previous sutra? Tada uchyate siddhe sati arabhyamano vidhihi niyamaya bhavati. That is one standard rule in vyakarana. Siddhe sati purva sutrena shastrena va siddhe arabhyamanaha vidhihi. Punaha kinchit sutram arabhyate chet niyamartha bhavati. Tena niyamah grahyate. So if something is already being given by a previous sutra, if Panini tells a new sutra to say the same point, then what is the point of that sutra? If we ask, that would be to indicate some sort of a niyama, right? So that is a standard thing which we use everywhere. If something is already being given by an earlier sutra, and if a new sutra is being told for that purpose, what is the purpose of that sutra? We ask, it is for niyama. Okay. So here, since pati shabdasya sheshokhyasakhi ityanenaiva ghisamyayam praptayam punaha patis samase iti ukte kim jnayate kashchana niyamah pati shabdasya samase eva bhavati iti niyamah jnayate punaha patis samase eva iti kimartham vaktavyam iti prashnah. Now uchyate evakarah. There is in the Balamanorama. So I think we should also, I don't know what books you are all carrying, but there's one standard edition of the Kaumudi which has, which comes in 4 volumes and which has 2 commentaries. It is called Balamanorama and the Tattvabodhini. It need not be this edition. Any edition, the Moola would be same, but Balamanorama is one of the easier commentaries for beginners to follow. So learning grammar is not just learning a sutra, it is to, not learning what the teacher teaches. It should be, once you have been through a couple of years of learning grammar, you should be able to look at the commentary and make out what the commentator is saying. Because at least at this level, what I am saying would not be much more than what a commentator says. Maybe at higher levels it would be. But I refer to the commentary and explain what it is. So one of the aims of studying any Shastra should be to get that level of competency where you can carry on with the help of good commentaries. So learning to read the commentary is also an art, which I think everybody should develop. Anyway, so this edition of this is by Motilal Banarsi Das, the edition with 4 volumes. But I think there is a Chokam edition also with Bala Manorama. So if you can get that edition, it's good. So if you look at that Patisamasa Eva, so any commentary to, I mean, I don't know how many of you are familiar with reading commentaries and this, so I'll just give an introduction, even though it might be good. So if you have this particular book, what is there in bold on the top is the Mula, Kaumudi. So next there is a section, there are 2 sections below it. So one is Bala Manorama commentary and the other is Tattva Bodhini. Right? So the first section is Bala Manorama. Right? So in Bala Manorama, in the commentary also you can see that there are some words which would be in bold. This is a general format which is used for any commentary. So whatever is in bold is actually his quoting, the commentator is quoting from Mula Grantha. Right? So for example, you can, in this page, you can see that Patisamasa Eva is a quote, which means that particular phrase appears in the Mula. And whatever is given next in not bold, in normal font, is the commentator's take on that particular phrase. Okay, so that is what we call the pratika. Pratikam nama yat mule asti tadeva uchyate vyakyakarena itaha asya bhagasya iyam vyakya iti tasya pratikam ityuchyate. So the pratika for there are several things, so you can look at it. So if you read the commentary, you'll see that everything becomes very clear. So for example, just read a portion of this commentary. So the paragraph starts with Atha Pratishabde Vishesham Darshayati. So to say, indicate that the Dikshita does not say Atha Pratishabdaha anything. He just starts with Patisamasa Eva, right? So the commentator clarifies saying Patishabde Vishesham Darshayati. Patihi Pati Patayaha Ityadi Pancharupani Nadattani. Dikshita does not give those because they are like Hari Shabda. He is only starting to indicate what is the speciality or what is that which happens only for Patishabda. So Atha Patishabde Vishesham Darshayati Patisamasa Eva iti Pratikaha. So that is taken from Mula. Sheshobhyasakhi ityataha Ghi iti anuvartate. As we saw, if you look at the previous slide, you will see that Ghi Tadaha Patishabda ityadina. So the Mula is Patishabdaha Samase eva Ghisamyaha syat ityarthaha. Okay. So Patya Patye Hitva Bhavat Natva Guna Bhave Yani Rupam. Hitva Bhavat, since Patishabda does not have Ghisamya, Natva Guna Bhave. Natva is Ango Nastriyam Ityanena yad Natvam Vidhiyate tasya Gunasya Gherngiti iti Vihitasya Gunasya cha Abhave. So since we do not have Nabhava and Guna, Yani Rupam. So we just do Iko Enati and we get the Rupa as Patya and Patye. Patyuhu. Punaha Yen Samanam Khyatiyat iti Utvam. So the Ukara, you have Pati as, you get Yen and you do Patyas. Tatah kim bhavati Khyatiyat parasya ityanena utve Patyuhu. Okay. Patyau Patyaviti Ghitva bhavat Achaghehe ityabhave. Since Achaghehe will not apply since this has Ghisamya, Out iti Nyehe Outve. So what happens in that case? We get the sutra Out will apply to get Nyehe Outvam. The Ni pratyaya is replaced by Au. Yani Rupam. And after that we do Yanadesha. Pati I, Pati Au, Patyau. So the next line is what I wanted to focus on. Arambha samarthyadeva niyamarthatve siddhe. Arambha samarthyat. That is just by the virtue of beginning a new sutra. When it was already achieved, whatever Panini wants, the desired result was already achieved by the previous sutra. Arambha samarthyat. Because Panini is starting a new sutra, there should be some purpose behind it. So, Arambha samarthyadeva niyamarthatve siddhe. So, it would be obvious that the new sutra is for niyama. Okay. So, when just Patisamasa would have told that this is a niyama sutra, why should Panini use that evakara? Kimartham evakaraha uchyate iti chet. Evakarastu patireva samase hihi iti viparita niyama vyavrityarthaha. So you see that the niyama can be in two ways, right? So one niyama is what we are saying. Patihi, pati shabdaha samase eva ghisamyakaha bhavati. Iti niyamaha asmabhihi swikritaha. That is the niyama which we have taken. That pati shabda will get ghisamya only in samasa. It is also possible to interpret the niyama as something else. Pati shabda eva samase ghisamyakaha bhavati. Only pati shabda will get ghisamya in samasa. Could be a niyama, possibly, right? So only pati shabda will get ghisamya in a samasa, which means other words. If hari shabda has a samasa, it will not get ghisamya. So all ikaranta ukarantas kevalyanam tesham ghisamya bhavati. Pati shabdasya tu samase api bhavati. Kevalasya pati shabdasya samase bhavati. Iti niyamaha bhavitum arhati. It could be that the niyama is the opposite. So patireva samase ghihi ityapi niyamaha syat. Iti viparita niyama vyavrityarthaha. Viparita niyama is an opposite niyama. Vyavritti is to prevent. So by saying patis samase eva, so you have that samase eva, he prevents the interpretation as patireva samase. Only pati can get ghisamya in samasa. So to prevent that kind of a wrong interpretation, Panini has used that evakara with samasa to say patihi samase eva ghisamyakaha bhavati. Right? So I'll read the line again. Arambha samarthyadeva niyamarthatve siddhe evakarastu patireva samase ghihi iti viparita niyama vyavrityarthaha tena suharina ityadi siddhyati. So by that, forms like suharina, shobhanaha harihi, suharihi. So now it is hari shabda is at the end of a samasa. Suharina tatrapi ghisamya asti ango nastriyam iti nabhavaha kritaha. So even in samasa, for all other things, we need that ghisamya. So that is why, to prevent that opposite niyama, Panini has included that evakara. Right? So it was just raised by a couple of people, so I thought to clarify with it. Coming back, I just want to know how many people have Bala Manorama. I've been just going through it. So please raise your hand so that. Okay, the others don't. Fine. Suji. Okay, Hema also has. Sharagopanji. Fine, I think quite a number of people have. So if people who do not have it, for studying Kaumudi, it's a very helpful one, at least for beginners. Bala Manorama does have a few errors, but for beginners, it's a very good book. So if you can get it, it would be nice. Even otherwise, it's fine because I'm covering many, but yeah. So from now on, we'll see. Since we've got, I did not want to introduce the commentary earlier because it requires some pravesha into the Shastra to go through it. From now on, if wherever we find it possible, we can go through small bits of commentary so that you know how the commentary makes things very, very clear sometimes. Okay.
Namaste. So maybe first, thank you for getting into Bala Manorama. I have been struggling to understand what it says. Just read it in the first place. I have a question. The exact English meaning when they say Vachana Samathyate or Arambha Samathyate, that Samarth, the word Samathyam is just because he considered it or he put it, what does it mean?
No, because of the inherent capacity of that new sutra. I mean, if that sutra were not needed at all, I mean, if we could have done something using some other thing, this sutra would go waste. So that the sutra itself has the capacity. Every sutra has an inherent capacity to do something, to be useful for something. So that is samarthya, the usefulness of the sutra, because we start by assuming that every sutra is needed. There is nothing which is waste in Panini Shastra. So Arambha Samarthya means just by the strength of it being told.
Is
or
that the
Arambha being.
Is that in the sense of samarthanam, in the sense of justification?
Huh? Sorry?
The word itself, what is the correct meaning of the word samarthyam or samarthanam?
Samarthya is capacity.
Capacity. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Samarthanam is it's to support something or convince, but samarthya is samarthasya bhavaha samarthyam. Samartha is somebody who can get things done, who has the capacity. So tasya bhavaha samarthyam. Right? So agre saramaha. Patisamasa eva ityanena ghisamyayaha niyamah kriyate. Oh, this is okay. Kati shabdaha. So in Pati Shabda we don't have any other specialties. Kati Shabdaha Nityam Bahuvachanantaha. Right? So Kevalam Bahuvachana Rupani Bhavanti. Bahugana Vatudati Sankhya Ityanena Sankhya iti samya asti. So we are introduced to many samyas in that sutra, in that Shabda. Right? So Bahugana Vatudati Ityanena Datyantaha. Kati Shabdaha Dati Pratyantaha. Tena Sankhya iti samya bhavati. Dati cha iti sutreण षट् इति संज्ञा भवति ततः षड्भ्यो लुक् इति सूत्रेण षड्भ्यः परयोः षट्संज्ञकेभ्यः परयोः जस् तथा शस् प्रत्यययोः लुक् लुक् नाम प्रत्ययस्य लुक् श्लु लुपः प्रत्ययस्य अदर्शनं लोपः इत्येव अर्थः लुक् शब्दस्य सो जश्यसोः लुक् भवति लुकि कृते प्रत्ययलक्षणेन गुणो भवतु. Question is, even after we delete the pratyaya, can we do guna depending on that pratyaya? Jasicha ityanena jasi pratyaye pare hrasvasya gunah vihitah sah pratyaye luptepi kartum shakyate va pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam. Even when a pratyaya is deleted, we can do karyas depending on the pratyaya. Is a general rule. So pratyaya lakshanena jasi pratyaye lupte api tadashritam karyam nama गुणः कर्तुं शक्यते वा इति चेत् न शक्यते. किमर्थं न लुमताङ्गस्य लुक् श्लु लुप् इत्येतैः शब्दैः यदा प्रत्ययस्य लोपः भवति तदा तदाश्रितम् अङ्गकार्यं न भवति. तत् प्रत्ययलक्षणं न भवति इति सामान्येन अर्थः. So when it is deleted by the general lopa, we can do pratyayalakshana, but when it is deleted by luk shlu or lup, there is no pratyayalakshana for an angakarya. That phrase is also important. The Sutrartha says, Luk shlu lup shabdaihi lumata shabdena lukte tadashritam angakaryam na syat. Right. So Ravi asks, the Sutra Shlav seems to be an apavada for Nalumata Angasya because we do Dvitvam even after the Pratyaya gets Shlu. Is Shlav an Angakarya? No, it is 6-1-10. Right? That is why we cannot do only the Angakarya. Any karya which is happening in the Angadhikara will not happen by Pratyaya Lakshana. But we can do other karyas. For example, we need Padasamya. Kati jas ityasti. If you say there is no Pratyaya Lakshana, generally if there is no Pratyaya Lakshana, we cannot do, say it is a Subanta. It won't be a Pada also. Right? So it's only the Angakaryam na bhavati. Ityeva arthaha. Na lumata Angasya. Angasya yat karyam kriyate tanna bhavati. Anyani karyani pratyaya luptepi bhavanti. Pratyaya lakshanam bhavati. Okay. Next. Asmad yushmat shat samyakaha trishu sarupaha. Prasangavashad uchyate. So just because we are dealing with a shat samya word, Dikshitar clarifies, asmad yushmad shat samyakaha trishu sarupaha. Trishu nama trishu lingeshu. The word asmad, yushmad, and whichever words have shat samya. As I told, shnanta shat, shakaranta, nakaranta cha samya, shat samya syat. So all those words, trishu sarupaha, they are the same, that is, they get the same forms in all three lingas. Whether you say dakarantaha trilingaha athava trishulingeshu samanaha asmad shabdaha, trishulingeshu samanaha yushmad shabdaha. So the kati is also that. Pullinge, strilinge, napumsakalinge samanam rupam. Tataha tri shabdaha. Ikarantaha pullingaha tri shabdaha. Punaha nityam bahuvachanantaha. Since tri is always bahutva, it has an inherent bahutva. So this is also always in plural. Nityam bahuvachanantaha. Tri shabdat jas pratyayah. Kim bhavati ka prakriya. What is the form first? Trishabdasya pullinge trishabdasya kim rupam? Prathama vibhaktav. Hema?
Trayaha.
Trayaha. Right. Strilinge?
Maybe Trayi, Tisri, Tisraha, yeah, Tisraha.
Tisraha. Napumsake?
Trini.
Trayaha, tisraha, trini. So this is not a, this does not belong to this set. Asya shat samya nasti, asmad yushmad nasti. So this varies in three lingas. Okay. So trayaha iti rupam. Ka prakriya. How do we get trayaha from three?
Hari Shabdavat.
Satyam. Kim bhavati?
Jasicha. So we get guna. So 3 plus us. 3 becomes when we get guna, we get a. And then akara following. Then echo yavahai adeshaha. And then trayaha.
Right. So jasicha ityanena hrasvasya gunahasya jasipare. Iti gune krite tre as iti bhavati. Tasya ejo yavayavaha iti ayadeshe trayas. Plutvam visargaha trayaha. We will not get this form by yen. Yen would give triyaha. Triya, triya. But this is guna and ayadesha. So we have trayaha. Shas pratyaya pare kim bhavati? 3 shas. Ka prakriya? Somebody else? It is like Hari Shabda. There is no difference. Hari Shabda se yatha tathaiva bhavati. Not only Hari Shabda, Rama Shabda se yatha tathaiva bhavati. Shas pratyaya vishesha eva nasti. Yeah, so Ravichandranji and Raviji told. So it's Prathamayoh Purva Savarnaha. Like we get Raman, same way we have 3 shas. It is Sthite Prathamayoh Purva Savarnaha. Iti Purva Savarna Dirghe. 3s iti bhavati. Tasya tasmat shasonah pumsi ityanena natve 3 rupam. Trayaha 3. Tribhihi. 3 bhis kimapi na bhavati. Rutvam visargaha. Tribhihi, tribhyaha, tribhyaha. Am pratyaya pare shashthi bahuvachane 3 am iti sthite. Stutah kim bhavati? Hari shabdasya asvan adhyapo nut ityanena nudagame त्रीणाम् इति भवेत्। त्रि न आम् नामि इत्यनेन दीर्घे त्रीणाम् इति रूपं भवेत्, किन्तु रूपं तथा नास्ति। रूपं किम्? त्रिशब्दस्य षष्ठी बहुवचने त्रयाणां सत्यं। So त्रयाणाम् इति रूपं. So how do we get त्रयाणां? We need something else here. So त्रेस्त्रयः इति अग्रिमं सूत्रम्. त्रेः त्रयः, very simple and very obvious. परद्वयं त्रेः इति षष्ठी, त्रयः इति प्रथमा. आमि सर्वनाम्नः सुट् इति सूत्रात् आमि इति अनुवर्तते. सो आमि परे त्रेः त्रिशब्दस्य त्रयादेशो भवति. त्रिशब्दस्य त्रयादेशः स्यात् आमि इति सूत्रार्थः. त्रि आम् इति स्थिते त्रय आम्. इदानीं ह्रस्वनद्यापो नुट्, अकारः ह्रस्वः, ह्रस्वनद्यापो नुट् इति नुडागमे. Sorry, this has to be nudagama, not numagama. ह्रस्वनद्यापो नुट् इति नुडागमे त्रय न आम्. नामि इति दीर्घे त्रयाणाम् अट्कुप्वाङ्गं व्यवायेति इति णत्वे त्रयाणाम्. रेफं निमित्तीकृत्य मध्ये यकारः अट्, आकारोऽपि अट्, अकारः अट्, अड्व्यवाये नत्वं भवति त्रयाणाम्. परमत्रयाणां कः विग्रहः? परमाश्च ते त्रयश्च इति समासः. So again he goes on to see what happens if trishabda is a part of a samasa. Paramaschate trayascha iti karmadharayah. Right? So karmadharaye, is it pradhana or gauna? Trishabdasya pradhanyam asti va gaunatvam asti va? Will three be pradhana? As whenever any shabda is part of a karmadharaya samasa, will it be pradhana or gauna? So yeah, it has to be pradhanam. In karmadharaya, no. In karmadharaya samasa, the word is always pradhana. Because, I mean, by nature, it is a visheshana visheshya. The word has to be a visheshya generally. So it is always pradhana. Because paramatrayanam, paramashchate trayashta ityukte, those three, and paramatrayaha gachanti ityukte, all the three go. So pradhanyam sarvada kriyayaha अन्वयः एव pradhanyam ityuchyate. So karmadharaya samase sarvada, always, with no exceptions, the word will be pradhana. Okay. So karmadharaya samase tri shabdasya pradhanyam asti. So pradhanye trayadeshah bhavati. Paramatrayanam yatra trishabdasya pradhanyam asti tatra trayadeshah bhavati. Tena paramatrayanam iti rupam siddhyati. Gaunatve tu na iti kechit. Some people say that gaunatve yada trishabdaha gaunaha tada na bhavati iti kechana vadanti. Priyatridam priyaha trayaha yesham te iti bahuvrihi. They for whom three are dear. Priyaha trayaha yesham te iti vigraha. Tatra bahuvrihi, bahuvrihav sarvada gaunatvam bhavati. Gaunatve trayadeshah na bhavati. Priyatri am ityasthite nudagame dirghe natve priyatrinam iti rupam iti kechit. So some there is a view which says gaunatve trayadeshah na bhavati. Vastutastu priyatrayanam. But actually gaunatvepi trayadeshah bhavati iti dikshitanam matam. So why he says? There will be some reason. I mean, if you look at the commentary, I'm sure you will get it. That gaunatvepi trayadeshah bhavati, pradhanyepi trayadeshah bhavati. Iti dikshitanam matam. I just looked at it if it is. Okay, so there is an explanation which I think is a bit beyond your scale. So actually, so trishabdasya vishaye trishabdasya pradhanyepi trayadesho bhavati, gaunatvepi trayadeshah bhavati iti siddhantah. त्रिषु त्रिसु इति स्थिते आदेशप्रत्यययोः इत्यनेन षत्वे त्रिषु इति सप्तमी बहुवचने रूपम्. So trishabdah. So all forms, there are only bahuvachana forms. That's the first point. And all forms are like hari shabda except shashti bahuvachana, which is there is a trayadesha, so it becomes trayanam. Right? Any doubts? No. Next, dvi. So we saw three. Dvi also happens to be ikaranta. Ikarantaha pullingaha dvi shabdaha nityam vivachanantaha. So obviously the dvi, because of its inherent duality, it is always has only the dual number. Kim bhavati? Prathamaha pratyayah dvi au. Su au just au pratyayah. Tyadadinam aha. A very important sutra which applies to a lot of familiar shabdas. Tyadadinam aha iti chhedaha. Ashtana avibhaktau iti sutrat vibhaktau iti anuvartate. Tyadadinam vibhaktau aha. So when tyadadi, words belonging to the tyadadi gana, when they are followed by any vibhakti, vibhakti sup tingau vibhakti samyau staha. So it has to be sub vibhakti because they are all pratipadikas. So when they are followed by any vibhakti, aha akaraha adeshaha bhavati. Tyadadinam sthane akaraha adeshaha. Ke tyadadayah. Okay. Esham akaraha antadeshaha syat. Sutre antadeshaha iti nasti. Alontyasya. Akaraha al. Alaha antyasya adeshaha syat. Aladeshaha antyasya syat. Iti alontyasya iti paribhashaya. So they'll get akara as an adesha for the last letter. Tyadadihi. Tyadadi gane ke shabdaha santi iti chet. Sarvadyantar ganaha. If you remember what we studied in the Sarvadi Gana, Tyadadi is a subclass of Sarvadini Sarvanamani, of the Sarvadi Gana. Viparyantanam eva ishtihi. And there is a Vartika which says that Tyadadi Gana goes till Dvi. Why this Vartika is because the Sarvadi Gana starts with Sarva Vishwa. The Tyad is here. So it starts Tyad, Tad, Yad, Etad, Idam, Adas, Eka, Dvi, Yushmad, Asmad, Bhavatu, Kim. Starting with Tyad, there are 12 words. Dvadasha shabdaha santi. When you say Tyadadayaha, Panini is indicating only the beginning, starting from Tyad. Till where? Is it till the end? Yeah, the Vartikakara says Viparyantanam eva. Only till Dvi. So the Tyadadigana starts with Tyad and extends till Dvi. There are 8 shabdas. All of them are very, except Tyad, all are very popular, or those which are very frequently used in Sanskrit. Tad, Yad, Etad, Idam, Adas, Eka, Dvi. Right? So Ashtanam Shabdanam Tyadadi iti vyavaharaha asti. Tyadadi gane ashtau shabdaha santi. Right? Esham shabdanam antadeshaha. So the last letter is replaced by akara. Right? So Dvi au ityasti. Antimaha varnaha ikaraha. Ikarasya sthane akaraha adeshaha. Dv a au. Tyadadinamaha iti. Sorry. Atogune is not needed here. I don't know why I put it. So it's just dva. Dv and a. If you join, it will become dva and au. Vruddhireti iti vruddhau dvau. This step is wrong. Please forget it. So dva au dvau. Vruddhireti iti vruddhau dvau iti rupam. Dvi bhyam. So first two vibhaktis are au and out. Ubhayatra dvau iti rupam. Tataha bhyam. Bhyam bhyam. So Vivachana will always have only 3 forms. One for the first 2 vibhaktis, one for the next 3, and one for the last 2. So Dvi bhyam. Atrapi Tyadadinamaha iti akaradeshaha bhavati. So Atoguna is not here. Dva bhyam. Idanim kim bhavati? What will happen when it is dva bhyam?
The dvabhyam, the
द्वाभ्यां कथं किं सूत्रं
Supi cha.
सुपि च correct so like we have रामाभ्यां we get द्वाभ्यां अतोङ्गस्य सुपि परे दीर्घः स्यात् so ह्रस्व अकारान्त anga will get दीर्घ when followed by a sup न्यायादौ सुपि परे so सुपि च इत्यनेन दीर्घे द्वाभ्यां द्वौ द्वौ द्वाभ्यां 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 द्वि ओस् अत्रापि अकारादेशः द्व ओस् नेक्स्ट अत्र किं भवति किं भवति द्व ओस् इति स्थिते रामशब्दस्य किं भवति राम ओस् nobody else okay Vasuji
Dvayoho.
द्वयोः कथं किं सूत्रम्
Obviously there is an ayadesha there.
right
So
so
it
for
has
an
to be-
ayadesha what do we need
We need ekara there, I think.
ekara so how do we get an ekara
That's ni becomes ne. That's the katyat for
no
out.
that is only for ikarantas you
Is
have to go
the
back
out
to
adesha. Out adesha.
out is for ni we don't have the ni pratyaya here
Oh yes.
you have to go back to rama shabda
Nasi nasoscha.
no that is also for harehe ngasi and ngas we don't have it here
Ner yeti. That's the only one I left.
it's still in ikarantas you have to go back to akarantas केन
Akara.
सूत्रेण एकारः इति प्रश्नः हेमा
ओसी च
ओसि च right so ओसि परे अतोङ्गस्य एकारः स्यात् यः बहुवचने झल्येत् and ओसि च so ओसि च इत्यनेन एकारे द्वे ओस् एचोयवायावः इति आदेशे द्वयोस् ऋत्वं विसर्गः द्वयोः so that is all there is nothing special it's just that the word becomes akaranta so all chadaris they behave like akarantas so once you get akarantatva it goes like rama shabda that is all अस्य समासे किं भवति द्विशब्दस्य okay before that द्विपर्यन्तानाम् इति किम् वार्तिककारेण उक्तं द्विपर्यन्तानामेव त्यदादिगणे ग्रहणम् अन्येषां नास्ति किमर्थम् इति भवान् भवन्तौ भवन्तः भवत् शब्दः एक द्वि युष्मदस्मद् भवतु किम् इत्यस्ति भवत् शब्दः द्विशब्दस्य अनन्तरम् अस्ति तस्य अत्वं न भवति अत्वं न भवति चेत् भवान् भवन्तौ भवन्तः तकारान्तः शब्दः यथा तथा भवति अयमपि so for words which occur after dvi that is yushmad asmad bhavatu and kim tadadinamah will not apply okay so bhavatu iti sarvanamnah atvam na bhavati samyayam upasarjanatve cha na atvam when the word is samya that is somebody is called dvi I mean I don't know why somebody would be called dvi but यदि अस्ति कस्यचन नाम द्वि इति अथवा उपसर्जनत्वे यदा द्विशब्दस्य गौणत्वम् अप्राधान्यं भवति तदा अत्वं यदादीनामः इति अत्वं न भवति कुतो न भवति सर्वाद्यन्तर्गणकार्यत्वात् if you go back to सर्वादीनि सर्वनामानि we studied a vartika there सम्योपसर्जनी भूतास्तु न सर्वादयः यत्र संज्ञा भवति अथवा गौणत्वं भवति तत्र तादृशां शब्दानां सर्वादिगणे अंतर्भावः नास्ति right so yeah she says Dvivedi, but that wouldn't be considered because it is not Dvishabda at all. It has to be just Dvi as a name. Can Dvi be a pada because there is no sup? I mean, we do have sup pratyaya. We add no. It is not. Dvi is always dual when it means two. But when it means a person, it need not always be dual. It can be ekavachana. If it is dual or if it is upasarjana, there will be all three vachanas always. Okay. So now Dvi is a pada because, I mean, Dvi is not a pada by itself. It is a pratipadika. We have to add supratyayas to it. We do add pratyayas. Okay. Exactly. Dvihi bhavati. So tada kim bhavati? Dvir nama kaschit. Dvihi. So when it is somebody's name, when Dvi is somebody's name, the prathama vibhakti would be Dvihi. Dvihi Dvi Dvayaha. Yatha Harihi Hari Harayaha. Tada Dvihi Dvi Dvayaha iti bhavati. Sarvadi antargana karyatvat. So there we discussed that both Sarvadini Sarvanamani, the simple Sarvanama Samya will not be there for such words. Also any antargana karya. Any karya which is meant for a subclass of Sarvadis, that also will not apply if a word is samya or if it is upasarjana. So that is why he says samyayam upasarjanatvecha na atvam sarvadyantargana karyatva. Tada kim bhavati? Dvihi. Dvir nama kaschit. Dvihi dvi dvayaha. Iti dvayaha ityukte dvi iti namakaha trayaha purushaha ityarthaha. Okay. Then dvau atikrantaha atidvihi. So this is an example of upasarjanatva. He who has excelled two others will be called atidvi. Tasyapi atidvihi atidvi atidvayaha. Upasarjanatvat chedadhyatvam na bhavati harishabdavad rupani. Right? Pradhanye tu paramadvau ityadi. Yatra dvishabdasya pradhanyam asti tatra tyadadinamaha iti bhavati. Tatra nityam dvivachanantata api bhavati. Paramadvau, paramadvabhyam, paramadvayohu. Paramau cha tau dvau. Ityartha. Okay. So for tyadadinamaha, it will apply if the word is pradhana. It will not apply if it is gauna. While for Trishabda, the Trayadesha will apply for both pradhanya and gauna. Okay. So the last, I haven't given the list of, okay. So the last word in ikarantas is audulomi. Very special shabda. I mean, not widely in use. Uduni, udu nama nakshatram. Okay. So yes, audulomi is in tadhitas. There is a vishesha here. So it says uduni nakshatrani iva lomani yasya saha. It is not some. Yasya saha uduloma. It's actually a name of a sage. So for names we don't actually go into the vyutpatti because I mean, he need not have hairs like stars to be called uduloma. Okay, it's just vyutpatti is shown only from a grammar point of view. So it need not be anvarthanama for everybody. Okay, so that's one thing to be keep in mind when we are talking about samyas. Yajurveda, good. That is one thing for me because I have never come across this word. Aruna Sukta. Maybe somebody else can confirm if this is there. I do not know. Okay. So, yeah. So, Uduloma is the name of a sage. This is the only thing here. Shabda Pramanakaha Vayyakaranaha. That is one thing they say, that we care only for Shabdas and not for the meaning. It is not actually true, but that's just a gist which others say. That, yeah. So, Uduloman is a sage. Uduni valomani asya saha Uduloman iti nakarantam. Tasya apatyam. Udulomnaha apatyam puman. Like we have Dasharathasya apatyam puman Dasharathihi. Udulomnaha apatyam puman audulomihi iti bhavati. Katham prakriya iti chetu uduloman ityasmata I iti tadhita pratyayah. right? Apatyarthe tathita pratyayah bahvaribhyashcha iti sutrena. Uduloman I iti sthite. Adivriddhi. This is one standard rule in all tadhitas. I mean, in many tadhitas. So there is an adivriddhi. The beginning letter will get vriddhi. When the pratyaya following pratyaya is nit or nit or kit, there is an adivriddhi. That is why you see Dasharatha becomes Dasharathi, and anything. Sumitra becomes Saumitri, or Kunti becomes Kaunteya, etc. Okay. So there are a couple of questions. Lomani ityukte kim? Lomaha, Romaha, hair. Loma means hair. Apatyam ityukte, it's child. It's a gender neutral word. So putraha, putri, anything is called apatyam, the child of anything. Okay. So now the U becomes Au. Why Adivriddhi? You have Auduloman I. Next Audulomu I. Nastadhite tinena Ti lopaha. Achontyadi Ti. So T is the last Ach and whatever follows. Here An is called T. So Nastadhite iti sutrena Ti lopaha. You don't have to know this particular prakriya. I'm just showing. So Audulomi iti tadhitantatvat krutadhita samasascha iti pratipadikatvam. Now we have an ikaranta pratipadika called Audulomi. Right? So how would it go? Audulomihi, Audulomi. This actually theoretically has to be like Hari Shabda. Okay, since the pratipadika is Audulomi, the forms are like Hari Shabda. There is no speciality. Actually, there is no speciality in the Vibhakti Karya. But there is a very, very special thing where the pratyaya, the tadhita pratyaya itself varies. Says, Lomno patyeshu bahushu akaro vaktavyaha. Lomnaha bahushu apatyeshu. It says when we are doing the tadhita pratyaya itself, the tadhita pratyaya which we did was I, right? So there is a I iti pratyaya. There is a vartika which says bahushu apatyeshu. If the number of children is more, is in plural, there is no I suffix. The suffix itself changes. The suffix would be akara. A is a suffix. So we'll go to the form later. It says Uduloman A. Instead of the I pratyaya, the pratyaya itself becomes A pratyaya. If you are meaning to say that there are many children, if you are saying Udulomnaha apatyam, he has one child, the child would be called Audulomi. But if you are referring to many children of that Uduloman, the suffix itself changes and it becomes akara. When you have akara, there is no adivriddhi because this akara is not it or nit, but there is tilopa. Nastadhita iti tilope. Uduloma iti akarantam pratipadikam. So pratipadika itself becomes akaranta. If it is akaranta, the forms would be like Rama Shabda. Uduloma jas pratyaye krite. Udulomas prathamayoh purasavarnaha iti purasavarna dirghe rutve visarge udulomaha iti rupam. So this is a very weird prayoga. I mean, I'm sure the difference is only because of prayoga, where you see that only in Bahuvachana the forms are like Rama Shabda, because the Pratipadika itself is Akaranta. We cannot actually say that this is Ikarantaha Pullingaha Udulomi Shabdaha, because the Ikaranta Pratipadika is only in Ekavachana and Dvivachana. In Bahuvachana, the Pratipadika itself becomes Akaranta. So yada ikarantam pratipadikam tada harishabdavad rupani, yada akarantam pratipadikam tada ramashabdavad rupani. Okay.
My question is, Tattiteshu Ajamadehe, why is that prevented on this? Because that's not triggered by Ikara, it is
achoiniti. It follows achoiniti. So there is it, nit or int or nit. Only if the suffix is nit or nit, then only we have this. So even if it is kit, which is another sutra, I guess. Tathiteshu Ajamadehe kiticha. Right. So
it is
adivriddhi will apply. Depending on the suffix. Since a does not have any nit or kit, we do not have adivriddhi.
Okay.
So that is about Audulomi. So Ekavachane, Dvivachane, इकारान्तः हरिशब्दवद्रूपाणि बहुवचने अकारान्त रामशब्दवद्रूपाणि. Okay, so that actually ends ikarantas. We are through with ikarantas. So, any questions? Okay. Is there a book which has English translation of Bala Manorama and Tattva Bodhini? I have not come across. Or Ravi, do you know anything? No. Vasu, the Shirish Vasu is just a direct translation of the Ashtadhyayi. It gives a gist of Bala Manorama, I guess, but it's not a translation of Bala Manorama.
I don't think there are any translations on it.
Yeah, so and I think it's always better to go with the Mula. I mean, to translate a commentary is very. So, with practice, you'll get it. Bala Manorama becomes very easy once you're through quite yeah, the Siddhanta Kaumudi, sorry, Vasu, but it does not have a translation of Bala Manorama. Okay.
There's a Sanskrit dictionary of Sanskrit grammar by Abhyankar. That I found it useful. It has got all the technical words in English and gives reference to all the sutras and all. Like the Samarthyam, all the technical words, he writes it and then gives an explanation of how it is used.
This is the book by whom?
It's a dictionary of Sanskrit grammar by Abhyankar.
Ah. Oh, okay.
So that has got all the technical words like the Samarthyam and Nyaya, all the Nyayam and everything. So he gives a little bit more explanation.
Great. I should find. Which publication? Do you know?
I can tell you the publication. I'll send you a mail of the publication.
Oh, yes. Sure.
Soumyaji, the book is actually online. I can send a link to the class.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Even I have only online, so maybe Ravi can send a link to that.
You can send it to everybody here, so
yeah,
it would be useful. Okay. So there are a few more questions. Hema?
Yeah, the Abhyankar dictionary is published by University of Baroda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So good, thank you. So we'll see if it's an online version, it's easier. So Ravi says the Bhaimi of it's of Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, right? So it is. I have not seen it, but I've seen excerpts from it. So it seems to be a good one, which gives excerpt points from Bala Manorama. I would have taken from it and told. Okay, Hiralalji. Hiralalji.
No, that is what I want to. It is available online, on internet.
Okay.
We have got it.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Siddhanta Kaumudi, Chonkamba Surabharati Granthalaya. There is one Gopal Datta Pandya Hindi commentary also for the Bala Manorama.
Oh yeah, I have seen that book. It has.
So that gives many of these examples and all a little bit in Hindi.
Oh, okay.
So people who know Hindi, they may.
People who are comfortable with Hindi might look at it. It's called, it's a Chowkamba publication by Gopal Datta Pandya. I think that also is in 4 volumes, is it? I think I've seen it.
But local bookseller says out of 4 volumes, intended 4 volumes, only 2 are available.
Oh, okay.
And probably the other 2 volumes will be completed by somebody else on behalf of.
Okay.
Looks like that.
Okay.
I have 2 volumes of the book, Soumyaji. It's, I think it's pretty good.
Oh, okay, yeah. Since I'm not very comfortable with Hindi, I've not I've seen the book, but I have not used it much. Okay, so James Valentine for Laghu Kaumudi. This book, but I don't think it's very detailed. It gives sutrartha example. Yeah, For beginners, fine, but it does not get into the Shastra. Yeah, and that book is bad. Okay, I have not. All these books I've just seen, not actually studied or looked through. Okay. Anything else? Okay, so I think we can stop it here. येनाक्षर समां नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरान् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। मुनित्रयं नमस्कृत्य तदुक्तिः परिभाव्य च वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकौमुदीयं विरच्यते।